Hi everyone, I'm Katrina and today I'm going to be going through all of the readathons happening in 2017. Now before I start, there are a couple of things I want to share with you that will help you stay up to date with readathons throughout the year, because of course there are going to be more announced in the future. Now in the description box of this video I have included a calendar list of all the readathons when they're happening, as well as links so you can find out more information. However, by the time the middle of the year comes around, there's going to be so many included that I'm actually going to run out of space in the description box and I can't include any more. So what I've decided to do is that each month I'll archive the previous month so that all you'll see in the description box is the current month onwards. If you want constant access to the entire list, I do have a calendar page on my blog, which I will have linked down below, which I would recommend instead. On the blog it's also a little easier to find links to all of the readathons if you do need more information. But one new thing that I have done this year is included an actual calendar at the top of the page so you can get a visual idea of when all of the readathons are happening. Since the list only includes the date and the name of the readathon, otherwise it'll just get too cluttered with more information, what you can actually do is click on the readathon within the visual calendar and it will pop up with a little more detail, and in that description I will also be including a little bit more information if there is any about the readathon. For example, if there's any themes or any reading challenges. I am currently in the process of doing this though, so bear with me while I get that all up to date. And finally, there's one other new thing that I've decided to do this year, and that is to set up the Twitter at Readathon News. So I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to be updating you guys on readathons on that Twitter. So I'll post updates when I add new readathons to the calendar so you can know about any brand new ones that are coming up, as well as posting reminders leading up to each readathon. I'm currently trying to decide how far in advance to post these reminders. At the moment I'm thinking one at 3 weeks and another one 1 week in advance, but if you guys have any other recommendations, if you want to know further ahead of time, then please share your feedback down below and I will take that into consideration. Without further ado, let's move on to what readathons are happening this year. And these are going to be in chronological order. First up we have the Booktube Bible-a-thon. Now this is a year-long readathon that actually started back in October, but since it does span most of this year, I've included it here. So it began on the 4th of October 2016 and will end October 1st 2017, and the idea of this is to read the Bible. I believe that this is the second time that this readathon has occurred, so it may also happen once again starting in October of 2017, but I will keep you updated on the calendar. I'm also quickly going to include all of the readathons that have already passed that happened in January, because they may or may not happen again in the future. There is the Sherlock Holmes Readathon, which was a month-long readathon from the 1st to the 31st of January. This is the first time that this readathon happened, so I'm not sure if or when this is going to be hosted again, but the main idea for this readathon was to, of course, read Sherlock Holmes stories. The Bout of Books Readathon are a series of week-long readathons that happen 3 times throughout the year, from the 2nd to the 8th of January, the 8th to the 14th of May, and the 21st to the 22nd of August. With this readathon you can read whatever you want. There aren't really any guidelines or challenges. The Yearathon readathons are a week long and they happen every single month, each month with a different theme. From the 2nd to the 8th of January, the theme was TBR Catch-Up. 6th to the 12th of February was Retellings. The 6th to the 12th of March, Cover Buys. 3rd to the 9th of April, Classics. 1st to the 7th of May, rereads. 5th to 11th of June, catch up or finish series. 3rd to the 9th of July, translations. 7th to the 13th of August, childhood favourites. 4th to the 10th of September, standalones. 2nd to the 8th of October, LGBTQIAP+. 6th to the 12th of November, new to you authors. And 4th to the 10th of December, 2017 debuts. The biannual Bibliathon are a series of 2 week-long readathons, one that happens in winter and one that happens in summer. The winter biannual Bibliathon happened from the 8th to the 14th of January. The specific dates for the summer biannual Bibliathon have not yet been announced. And with this readathon, there is always one group book that they encourage everyone participating to read, as well as a series of reading, video, and new photo challenges. The seasons of reading are a variety of different readathons. These can range from 1 week, 2 weeks, or 1 month in length. And there's one of each type of readathon that happens each year. The Winter's Respite readathon happens from the 16th to the 29th of January. The Spring into Horror Read-A-Thon happens from the 17th to the 30th of April, and for this one they encourage you to read at least 1 scary book. The Sci-Fi Summer Readathon happens from the 1st to the 7th of June, and they also encourage you to read sci-fi books. The High Summer Readathon is from the 17th to the 30th of July. The Frightful Readathon goes for the entire month of October, and for this they also encourage you to read at least 1 scary book. book. And finally is the Christmas Spirit Readathon. This is from the 20th to the 26th of November, and they encourage you to read at least one Christmas book. The 24 in 48 Readathon is a readathon that happens over a period of 48 hours. This one generally happens a few times a year. The first one happened from the 21st to the 22nd of January, and it will also happen again the 22nd to the 23rd of July. And the aim of this is to, within this time period, try and read a total of 24 hours. The Diversathon is a week-long readathon that happens a few times a year. The second round happened from the 22nd to the 29th of January, and it is very likely to happen in the future, but there are no dates as of yet. This readathon is to celebrate diverse voices and stories. The Run from Reality Readathon is a series of week-long readathons every month. So far, it has happened on the 22nd to the 29th of January and the 4th to 11th of February. The March dates have yet to be announced. Feminist Lit February is a month-long readathon, of course, during the month of February. This is the first time the readathon has been hosted, so I'm not sure if it's going to be again in the future, but it may possibly be an annual thing. And the Feminist Lit February is to promote feminist and diverse authors, stories, and content. The Emojiathon is also a month-long readathon happening in February. Again, this is the first time, I believe, so it may happen again in the future. For this readathon, you are given a choice of different reading challenges that are inspired by different emojis, and then you try and complete some of those challenges. The ReadATheme Readathon is hosted over a long weekend, and it's also monthly, with each month having different themes. In February, it was from the 2nd to the 5th, and the theme was poetry. The future dates have yet to be announced though. TBR Takedown is a week-long readathon that happens a few times a year, with the first one of the year from the 6th to the 12th of February. The main idea for this one is to make a dent in your TBR, and there are reading challenges. Bookentine is a week-long readathon held annually. This year it is from the 13th to the 20th of February. For this readathon, you're encouraged to read contemporary books. It doesn't have to be specifically romance to coincide with Valentine's Day, but just contemporary in general. They also have some reading challenges this time around as well. The Because Dragons Readathon is a new week-long readathon happening from the 20th to the 26th of February, and this is a fantasy-themed readathon. We have another new readathon, the TimeHopAThon, also happening from the 20th to the 26th of February, and this is based on the idea of traveling in time. So you're provided a few different kinds of reading challenges. ReadORama is another week-long readathon that happens a few times a year. The next one is happening from the 12th to the 18th of March, and there are also plans to have another readathon in August and October, but specific dates have not yet been announced. For this one as well, they also have reading challenges. FemPowerAThon is a week-long readathon. This is also happening for the first time this year, from the 19th to the 26th of March, and this is basically all about female empowerment in literature. Borrowathon is a week-long readathon, with its second round happening from the 19th to the 26th of March, and for this one you're encouraged to read books that you have borrowed. This can be from the library or it can be from friends and family. Hello everyone, me from the future jumping in because there's some changes that happened for a particular readathon. I want to give you the most accurate information, so here we go. We also have the Prideathon Readathon, which is a week-long readathon happening for the very first time this year from the 17th to the 23rd of April. For this readathon, you are to read LGBTQIAP+ books, and they will have some specific challenges to help prompt you with your TBR. Those will be announced later on the Twitter. The Dewey's 24-hour readathon is a 24-hour readathon that happens twice a year. The first one is going to be on the 29th of April, and it will also be hosted again in October, but the exact date has not yet been released. A Novel Experience Readathon is a 2-day-long readathon happening for the first time this year from the 29th to the 30th of April. There are no future dates yet, but this may possibly become an annual readathon. It was created to celebrate the life of Kerry, who's a booktuber who unfortunately passed away last year. Forgotten Shelves Readathon is a week-long readathon that happens a few times a year. This one is probably going to be hosted in April, but there are no specific dates yet. For this one, you're encouraged to read books that fall under specific categories that are often read less than other categories. For example, there's Out of Your Comfort Zone, Bench Warmer, TBR Runaway. For this, there are reading and Instagram challenges. The Booktubeathon is 1 week-long and 1 long weekend readathon. The week-long readathon happens during the summer months, and the long weekend readathon happens during Christmas time. The exact dates have not yet been announced, but for this there are also reading, video, and photo challenges. The annual Harry Potter Readathon lasts for 2 months, and it happens every year. There are no specific dates yet, but it likely will fall during June and July. And for this readathon, you of course read Harry Potter books. The Spookathon is a week-long readathon that happens every year. In 2017, it will be hosted from the 16th to the 22nd of October. And for this one, you read scary books, horror, thriller, spooky, and there are also some reading challenges too. So aside from these readathons, there are a few more that I want to mention. These ones have happened in the past and often multiple times, and they're likely to happen again. But as of yet, there either isn't any news or confirmation that it will be happening again, or I'm unsure around what months it might happen. The Casual Readathon is a week-long readathon that has reading challenges. According to the Twitter, they were hoping to have one in February, but nothing has been updated as of yet, so it's likely to be pushed back a little bit, I think. The Cramathon is usually a 3 or 4 day readathon that happens a few times a year, and of course with this one you just try and cram as much reading in a short time as possible. Ribsat, or Read Your Bookshelf-a-thon, is a week-long readathon that happens a few times a year. Round 10 is coming up, and dates should be announced hopefully pretty soon for that one. The main idea for this readathon is you pick one point on your bookshelf, you read that book, and then you read the next one, and then you read the next one, and you continue on as long as possible. Readathon is a 2-week-long readathon that happens a few times a year. During this time you read tomes, which are books that are over 500 pages, and there are reading challenges as well. And finally, the Underhyped Reads Readathon. This is a week-long readathon that happens a few times a year, and for this you try to read books that are considered underhyped. And I think it's how you define a book being underhyped. So for example, one way could be reading a book that has less than 5,000 ratings on Goodreads. So I've realized that I completely forgot to mention one readathon, and it's the readathon that I host. Good work, me. This readathon is called the Banned Bookathon, and it is a week-long readathon that happens annually during Banned Books Week. In 2017, I believe the Banned Books Week is running from the 24th to the 30th of September. Now, this is just a tentative readathon. It'll totally depend on my uni schedule because I'll be in my final semester for university, so if things are a little bit hectic, I might put a hold on the readathon this year, but just to let you guys know, it exists. Hopefully it will happen. So those are all of the readathons that I'm aware of happening in 2017. Now, of course, there are definitely going to be some that I have missed, and I apologize for that. I try my best to do searches to find out about all of the upcoming readathons, but it's impossible to know about them all. So if there are any that I have skipped, please let me know in the comments below so I can add them to the calendar. If you are actually a host of your own readathon, I have included a link down below to a submissions form. This is just a way for me to get a little bit more information about how often it's likely to happen and how far in advance you announce dates and more information so that I know to keep track of your readathon, as well as also finding out a little bit more about the main premise or any themes for the readathons so I can include those in the visual calendar descriptions, as well as post about it on the Readathon News Twitter. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you find it helpful in learning about some new exciting readathons. Don't forget to follow the Readathon News Twitter so you can get reminded when there are some coming up so you won't forget. And that's all that I have for now, so I'll see you next time. Bye!